What's up, everybody? Robert at Kogen Dojo here with Naqi Sayed from Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Maryland, Relson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Coming out here tonight, guest instructor Monday in Severna Park. Gonna teach some neon belly, neon soul Jiu-Jitsu, crushing people. And just wanted to talk to Naqi a little bit about how he got into Jiu-Jitsu and what brought him up to today. So how did you get started in Jiu-Jitsu?
Thanks for number one.
Thanks for coming out for real. Seriously,
it's always good coming here and seeing the guys and how well your school is just developing and evolving, and how your students are just getting better and better every time I see them.
Awesome, thanks.
And your program over there is packing up. They have a Mo-type program in the back, kids program, and all these other things. So go to their website and figure that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's growing and it's awesome. This is a great school. How did I get involved? My daughter actually was very young, and we drove by where Mike Stewart had his second location in Clarksville, and it said kids martial arts, BJJ, MMA, all this other stuff. And so I wanted to take my daughter in there. She was young; she was about to go into kindergarten, and I wanted her confidence to be a little bit more, developed and a little bit more apparent, because she was kind of shy and timid. I still have pictures of her very first day that I actually went and met with Mike at the school, and I saw Mike and the passion that he had, and how much energy he put behind every kid at the school. It was such an easy sell. I was like, yeah, of course I want my daughter to learn from you. And so my daughter started training, and she started getting really good, and Mike just asked, one day, how is she getting good? I said, well, I watch what you're teaching, then I go home and I train with her again. And so we ended up training, and I learned maybe like a move or two, but I didn't really know anything. And so then Mike was like, well, you should come and train with us. I was like, no, I'm good. I don't need to train. I'll just watch from the side. You know how it is. Yeah. No one wants to train because it humbles you so fast. But at the end of the day, Mike said, hey, come and help me teach. His program is growing so fast just by the nature of the work that Jordan and Mike put in. They were just attracting so many people. Yeah, they didn't have instructors to ensure that they were having a good student to teacher ratio. So I got in there and I started helping kids teach, and from there training, and that's how it started, and just getting getting it handed to me every day, but I kept on coming back for more. Yeah. And that was so much fun. So that's how it started. So
when was that? How long ago was that?
2011.
Okay.
So this was November 2011.
It's like 7 years.
Yeah, it's about. Nice. Yeah, there was just a lot of training back then that used to happen. A lot of the times, like the kids program was really well developed. The adult program, there would be nights where it would just be Mike, Jordan, and me, just round robin, just kicking each other's butt for hours. And then finally we at one point it was just us as blue belts, and then we had John come in, who was like a purple. John, we got a purple belt, and obviously at this point Kyle was coming in, and Stuart Ramos obviously was overlooking the program as well.
Yeah. And now what, you guys are pushing 700 members between the two schools?
I think so. You'd have to get the numbers from Mike, but it's ridiculous because any night you can go in there, like on a Tuesday or whatever day. The gym is like almost 5,000 square feet of mat space in Columbia, and Finksburg is also, I think they're getting close to 3,000 square feet of mat space in the new location. So now they can run multiple classes. They can run a kids class, and they can run like a fundamentals adult class simultaneously. And so what that allows us to do is like almost have, it's a ridiculous thing, is like you can almost have 100 students, but how we're managing quality is that we're ensuring that there's a set number of instructors minimum per day on the mats. Adults a little bit easier, but with kids you need to ensure, for the sake of safety and quality of instruction, that there's always a lead instructor for the kids class, but there's always multiple helpers or assistant instructors, or sometimes it'll be even like someone who's not super senior, like a blue belt teaching, but you'll have like 3-4 brown belts or 2, sometimes 3 black belts on the ground. Supporting that instructor on the kids program. So it's pretty neat from that perspective.
Yeah, it's awesome. And actually, that's one of the things that we have going on here. We try to overlap the kids classes with an adult class. So like tonight we had the adult Jiu-Jitsu fundamentals class at 6 o'clock at the same time as the little kids Jiu-Jitsu class out front. and then the adult Muay Thai class going on while the big kids Jiu-Jitsu class is going on. Now we have an open mat in the back for the Muay Thai while we're going to do the 8 o'clock adult Jiu-Jitsu with Naqi. So what keeps you doing Jiu-Jitsu after 7+ years?
Well, since then I've had another daughter, and so now she's 5, and she's been training for a year now. Right, so she's 6.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she's 6. Yeah, she's been training for a year now, and just to stay active with them and to be engaged with them. Not just that, I see a lot of other use cases. We get people who have been through things that we can't imagine, and so we're put in a position. We have these skills. We have some knowledge that we can share with them that can help change their life. And this could be kids who've been traumatized or abused or bullied in school, all the way up to women, or even, men who have to, do things, or law enforcement officers who, go undercover or do whatever. You want to ensure that they have that skill set to protect themselves. So,
well, that's a huge part of why we opened. We saw a big need in the community here for what you guys were doing over there with the self-defense focused jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of great jiu-jitsu schools in this area for a sport competition, but there was nobody teaching the self-defense aspect of jiu-jitsu, and we really felt like, for our daughters and our, our kids, our wives, the police officers, that there was really a big need, and really honestly for ourselves. I mean, I remember I watched the first class I watched over at your school. I watched the little 4-year-olds rolling, and they started standing, they're sweeping each other and getting back to their feet, stand up in base and everything. It's like, that's what I want for my daughter and for my wife. Well, why wouldn't I want the same thing for myself too,
Yeah, and your business, and then help spread that art.
Yeah.
And because, I think number one, we have a responsibility. Once we have that information, it's really a responsibility, and I think that's why I take it seriously and still stick with it, despite having some setbacks with injuries outside of jiu-jitsu. You still want to continue and be involved in some way.
Baseball is dangerous.
Well, it's basketball.
Well, basketball is dangerous.
Basketball it is.
Yeah. So I just wrapping up a little bit. Again, thank you for coming out. A funny story. Actually, Naqi is the first guest instructor that we had when we were training at my house. We were training at my house for like 2 years before we opened up the school here, and there was a Monday night. Only one person was coming to class. It was Damien, and only one person was coming. And I was like, well, let's make this interesting for him and for me, and let me see if I can get some other people in here to teach, so it's not just me and Damien. And I was like, well, I really want to learn some knee on belly stuff, and I heard Naqi's a beast with the knee on belly, so let me see if Naqi can come in and teach the class. And everybody who misses the class is going to be jealous that they didn't come. And then Mike Stewart came, and then Jordan came, and kind of started it rolling, and we've kept the tradition going here. And it's really a cool thing to see all these different instructors coming in from different schools, and always trying to come back around to the Relson guys that helped us get started, especially like Naqi and Mike and Jordan and these guys. At the end of the day, we're a Relson school. We like to play around with everything because it's important. It's important in jiu-jitsu to be open-minded. But gonna get back to some Relson Gracie basics tonight and smash some people's bellies.
Yeah, we'll add a little juice to it. But the thing that I'll say is, when we were training at Mike's school, Mike was very early. He was a white belt, and then eventually a blue, and now he's a brown. You guys have a brown belt, 2 brown belts teaching, a black belt. You have 3 brown belts?
We have Doug, Matt, Bowie. We have Patrick's a brown belt. Yes. He trains here. Several purple belts. Ike's a black belt now.
Incredibly awesome. So, coming on Mondays is great, but definitely try to come on the other days because there's so much knowledge here. You can hear stories about back in the day when people they could only learn from like a VHS, or they would have to travel to New York to see Henzo, or hours. John had to travel to Tennessee from Maryland to test for his blue belt.
Yeah.
And so anyway, you guys, this is a great place to train. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Let's go get after
it.
Cool. Thanks everybody.